guys, it's Boxing Lowdown and I'm back here with another video now. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Feel free to drop a comment if you like and I'll happily get back to you. Now let's talk about some boxing news. Eddie Hearn was speaking to Chris Mannix on the podcast, I forgot what it's called now, Sports Illustrated podcast, that's it. And yeah, we're talking about Joshua-Pulev, and obviously that fight was scheduled for Saturday, June the 20th. However, as we all know, this whole pandemic, this unprecedented times that we're all going through right now, allowed for that fight and many others to be postponed. A lot of them are being rescheduled, or some of them haven't even been spoke about at all. But yeah, with Joshua and Pulev, that was due to take place at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The capacity of that stadium is what, 69,000 odd in there. So it would have been a great homecoming for AJ after his last two fights have been abroad. One of them was in America, the other one was in Saudi Arabia. So it was expected that this would be like AJ's homecoming before challenging the likes of Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury in a mega undisputed heavyweight title showdown. This fight against Pulev was a mandatory defence, and it's been on the cards for a while. I mean, Pulev was scheduled to scheduled to fight Joshua, a couple of years ago actually, pulled out of that fight. And since then, yeah, he's kind of been on the radar, but you know, circumstances happen. Like, nobody expected Joshua to lose to Ruiz and so on. But we're here now, and Joshua Pulev, like I said, scheduled for the 20th of June. However, that was postponed. Now it's looking like that fight will take place abroad. It's not looking like it will happen in the UK anymore. And the reason for that is, of course, due to the pandemic that we're going through. It's not looking like we're going to have any sort of major boxing event in front of a huge crowd here in the UK, at least until the end of the year, at least. And for that, in that case, that means that Joshua is in a bad situation because he has to fight. Eddie Hearn doesn't like the idea of him fighting behind closed doors, and Joshua has to make a defence of his belt. So what happens there? I mean, the only really other thing you can do is fight abroad, where some of the restrictions are, you know, they've been lifted a bit more than ours have over here. We saw in Germany on the weekend, like football started to carry on now. Some of the bars and the cafes are starting to open. So I'm not saying the fight will take place in Germany. That's not one of the areas that I've asked to host this fight. But in other countries, it's a lot different to what we're going through right now. Some people are more further ahead than others. And some of the countries that are interested in hosting Joshua and Pulev, one of them is Croatia. They want to stage it in like a Colosseum type setting, which is interesting. And then, of course, you've got the likes of the Middle East. You know, you've got Dubai, you've got Saudi Arabia that are interested in hosting it. So Eddie Hearn is just currently weighing up his options, man. And he's being realistic in saying that he doesn't think that Joshua and Pulev will take place in the UK, which is a shame because it would have been good to see AJ back home. It would have been good to have him have his defence here, especially in London as well. It would have been good to have that. But, of course, nobody could have predicted what was due to happen a couple of months later. So yeah, at the end of the day, AJ needs to fight, Pulev needs to fight. They've got a mandatory obligation to, you know, take care of. And I mean, for me, what can you really say at this point? I mean, we all want to see AJ back in the UK, but at the end of the day, he does need to fight. So if it does happen to take place in Croatia, that would be very interesting. If it happens in Saudi Arabia, like they're used to the logistics there, they've done it before, so it wouldn't be, you know, too different to what they're used to. Dubai does have the sort of setting that could take place for a good fight over there. So who knows where it does end up, but it's looking like it won't be in the UK. So that further delays Joshua's return on these shores in terms of boxing wise. But let me know what you guys think of it, man. Are you disappointed with this news, or are you just like me where you just want to see the fight happen and you know, prepared to accept that the fight will likely take place abroad for it to happen? At the end of the day, the fight we all really want to see is Joshua against the winner of Fury and Wilder, or Joshua against Fury. And yeah, I mean, we're not going to see that if the fight gets pushed back and back and back. So I think at the end of the day, let Joshua fight Pulev somewhere else, let him fight him abroad, and then hopefully we can get Joshua and Fury, or Joshua and Wilder, let's say, in the next year. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. Let me know what you guys think about it, and I'll catch you on the next video tomorrow.